Hi guys! In this video I will show you how I made this cute cutout bodysuit out of this skirt. First, I made myself a pattern. For this, I took a top which fits me well and traced the sleeve seam, the shoulder seam and the neckline onto it. For the length of the bodysuit, I measured the starting point and the end point on my body and marked this length on the paper. For the waist cutouts, I put on a tight t-shirt and marked where I wanted the cutouts to be. Then I measured all the distances and drew them on the pattern. I did the same for the back part. Since I decided that I wanted a cutout in the back, I grabbed another shirt and traced the cutout as well. Last but not least, I took a underwear and traced it at the bottom. As you can see, the skirt is double layered, so I will have about 1 meter of fabric. Since I was too lazy to rip the seams, I just cut them. Then I folded the two pieces of fabric right sides together lengthwise and traced my pattern piece onto it. My pattern is without seam allowance, so I cut out everywhere 1 centimeter beside the markings. Then I measured out my neckline and cut out a piece for the turtleneck. I wanted it to be 4 centimeters wide, so I cut out an 8 centimeter wide piece. For the facing, which you need for all raw edges, I took the leftover fabric and cut out 10 stripes, each 3 centimeters wide. Then I overlocked them on one edge. First, I started with the back part and realized that the stripes are too short for the neckline. I sewed 2 of them together and pinned them right sides together around the neckline. Then I sew them together with the overlock. If you don't have an overlock, you can also use a zigzag stitch. Then I folded the facing stripe over, so that the seam is at the edge of the neckline. I pinned it in place and stitched it. I repeated this process on all armhole edges and waist cutouts. Pin the facing stripes right sides together at the edges and sew them together, and then fold them over and top stitch them. I sew all the edges, I sewed the front and the back piece together. To do this, I placed them right sides together and pinned the shoulder and the upper side seams together. At the shoulder seams, you have to take care that the fabric of the front piece overlaps a little bit, because later the turtleneck has to be sewn onto it. After the shoulder and the side seams are sewn, I sewed the neck. To do this, I sewed the side seam of the neck piece together, folded it in half and sew it onto the neckline. I marked the half of the neck with pins and pinned it right sides together to the shoulder seams. Then I pinned it to the front piece of the bodysuit and sewed it all around with the overlock. I tried the bodysuit on and realized that the underwear part was a little too wide. So I marked it where it should end and overlocked the edges. After that, I pinned the two bottom side seams right sides together and sewed them together. not least, I double flipped the bottom edges where the snap buttons will be sewn on. Then I sew them on by hand in the same distance. Et voila, the bodysuit is finished. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I really hope I could inspire you, and if you have any questions, then please let me know in the comments.